Oh, forgot to plug in the microphone. Here we go. So just going back to early days of running, in terms of racing or races, one of the first early memories would have been year 11. School sports day once again. That time comes round for the best athletes to shine, and I was not one of them. That was pretty clear. I'd always had an involvement in sports at schools, but I was never one that was gonna particularly shine. But I could get involved in most things, so I was pretty pleased about that, and have some good memories of all the different sports and events I got involved with through college and school and bits and pieces. So I got a pretty good experience of that stuff, just never really won anything. Is what it is. But one of the more entertaining stories would have been on year 11, I believe it was 2015, so the best part of 16 years ago now. Still remember it pretty well. Was the 1500 metre or 3000 school sports day race. Little tomato, me, youngest in the year, shortest in the year. So some of the other guys had a bit of an advantage. Certainly when it came to basketball. I'd been chosen by my form 7HD, or it had been 11HD, to represent the class on that 1500 3000 metre race. Would have been classed as the longer distance race. The lad that was meant to do it, he'd opted out at the very last minute, although I'd bartered with him to do it. He didn't quite fancy it. I think race day nerves, any of you guys that run now will definitely be able to relate to that, had got the better of him, and they got the better of me. But it wasn't until I was on that start line and everyone went off, I went off as well, that I realised it. On that very first corner, the far end of the field, I was there, no one else was, because they were already miles out in front of me and my little legs couldn't keep up. And I was thinking, what have I got myself into? And the pressure, or the reputation that my family had for running, looking back, was pretty good. My brother had a 20-year 800 metre school record broken, and my cousin, the one that was at the school at the time, he had the shorter distance races in the bag. He was pretty explosive in terms of shorter distance school athletics. They were both pretty good runners, and that definitely wasn't me, but I could just keep going and going and going. That was me, just kind of never give up. But on that day, I was more than prepared to give up. When we were on that first lap, getting round to the far side once again, going into second lap, into the 500 metre mark, I was ready to go down and call it a day there. So there I was, thinking, right, I'm coming up to that imaginary stone, I will trip over it. I tripped over it, but what I wasn't expecting was the rest of the school to encourage me to get up, which I reluctantly did. And that didn't mean that anyone was going to slow down for me, or that I wasn't going to be lapped. So I had to keep running, and we went round again, and I was well behind. I could see my brother in the crowd somewhere, and we went round again, and I was ready to stop. So I thought, right, I'll get round again, and I'll try and catch them up. Couldn't catch them up, so I fell again. And once again, everyone wanted me to get back up, so I got back up, and the race went on, and quite clearly I was in last place. I stayed in last place, but I finished the race. So I didn't give up, and there's no real moral to the story with this one, or a way that I can put it into words. This is maybe just to paint a clearer picture that when people have turned around to me in the years have gone by and they've said, oh, you're so fast, or you're so quick, or I wish I was as good a runner as you, is it didn't start quite how people had imagined. I quit. I think I quit a couple of times in that race. It happens. I quit a couple of times on that day. And it just kind of highlights that people are there and people do want you to succeed. They do want you to get back up. Yes, it made me the butt of a few jokes around the dinner table over the years, and I still plead that there was a couple of stones in the way that I managed to trip on twice. But we all know the truth in what happened on that day. And does it really matter? No, I don't think anyone really cares. I don't think anyone really remembers. I struggle to remember it sometimes. But not everything is streamlined, and success, whether it be big or small, is not. So that's kind of one of the early substantial memories of running. I'm sure some people have got some similar stories. So we'll start with that one, and we'll let this story of running unfold.